wonderful that we've got in this room a small number of very key representatives of a range of sectors, ranging from the millers, the grain exporters, the international agencies, governments, all of you making time to come for this meeting and to help us plan what we think could be an extremely important landmark in developing and expanding flour fortification around the world. And again, echoing Glenn to say that it is really great that all of you have traveled very long distances, especially Joe Judd, who's come in after traveling for a record 48 hours from New York via Delhi and Dubai. So it's fantastic that all of you are here in time to join us here. And I think we are gathered here because I think we are beginning to share a common belief, and a belief that we can finally harmonize the commitment, the solutions, and the human and financial resources required to make serious inroads and progress in using flour fortification as an initiative to address micronutrient malnutrition. Just to update some of you who were not aware of the developments at the recent UN General Assembly Special Summit on Children that took place in New York in the month of May, there were special commitments made and goals set by heads of state, and many, more than 70 heads of state were present at that meeting. They committed themselves to a whole series of health and development goals, and specifically they resolved to achieve the sustainable elimination of vitamin A deficiency by 2010 and accelerate progress to eliminate iodine deficiency by 2005 and a substantial reduction in iron deficiency by the year 2010. And they also specifically mentioned that this would be achieved using food fortification and supplementation specifically. And elsewhere in the document there is also mention of utilizing the resources and the technologies offered by the private sector. I think that these commitments have really set the stage for us, and now this meeting is a time when we can specifically work on the issue of flour fortification to see how those global goals can be translated, how we can build on them, and how we can capitalize on an enabling global environment where governments are becoming more business-like and the private sector is recognizing its social responsibilities. It is also interesting that at the same UN session, Bill Gates inaugurated the new GAIN initiative that Glenn just mentioned, which is specifically dedicated and focused on expanding food fortification programs around the world. This is a recognition that major foundations like the Gates Foundation are giving to the fact that this is something that is doable and merits support and priority. MI is very pleased to co-sponsor this meeting with CDC. And for those of you who are not familiar with the Micronutrient Initiative, I'll just give you a brief introduction just to say that we are supported by the World Bank, UNICEF, Canadian International Development Agency, and the World Food Programme. We are a non-profit organization headquartered in Canada, but with offices around the world. And our mission is to stimulate and support national actions to eliminate micronutrient malnutrition, assuring universal coverage and sustained impact on people's health and well-being. Jointly with our public and private sector partners, we have been supporting programs in over 40 countries in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, and the food processing industry is our active partner to promote the expansion of food fortification and other ways to improve micronutrient intakes all over the world. And we do this through a combination of advocacy and communication, technology development, program support, capacity building, and operational research. Specifically with the flour industry, we are working to develop technical guidelines, providing technical assistance on food fortification, and guidelines for quality control and financing. We also know that flour is an excellent vehicle because it's a key ingredient in so many foods. Most modern flour mills require very minor modifications to carry out the fortification process. Enriching wheat flour with iron and folic acid is extremely low cost and cost effective. And adding nutrients to flour enhances the nutritive value and does not affect the color, quality, or flavor of the product. Effective fortification, as we all know, requires active collaboration across a range of sectors, from the scientific community, the government, the milling industry, consumer groups, and international agencies. We believe that such a coalition will benefit private sector partners, not just as a lever to improve performance in the marketplace, but also to show that the private sector has social as well as economic interests. It will benefit governments, which have a mandate to improve the lives of their peoples, and it will allow national and international development agencies to provide the technical support and the seed money in an efficient and economic way. We believe that flower fortification should be part of national priority and policy, and its promotion and monitoring included in the budget line of governments. It also needs to be supported by the flower milling industry and promoted as normal, good milling practice in every large mill around the world. Ultimately, it needs the support of the consumer, who should be motivated to specifically ask for and pay for fortified flour. Flour fortification was initiated in many industrialized countries in the middle of the last century and has been mandatory and effective ever since. More recently, it has been increasingly become the norm in Latin America, and over the past 5 years, with support from WHO, CDC, and MI, several countries in the Middle East and North Africa have followed suit. But in the rest of the world, while there is considerable interest, the quantities of flour that are currently being fortified are extremely low. This meeting could therefore represent a watershed point where we take stock of all the experience gained to make a quantum jump in fortification through a global campaign to ensure that all flour is fortified. The companies represented in this room are capable of having a profound positive effect to make this happen at a very small cost. And in order to make this happen, what we need to achieve, and hopefully we'll start that process today, is to reach a common understanding of the opportunity through flour fortification and a mechanism by which the different and diverse players can work together for the public good. The potential benefit to the people of the world is enormous, the costs are small, and the risks are negligible. We stand on the threshold of an unparalleled opportunity to improve our economies, the productivity of our workers, and the quality of life for all our citizens. All of us need to work together to capitalize on this wonderful opportunity, and we're looking forward to the discussions today. Thank you very much.